This is Into the Storm, where winning starts within. The mental performance podcast for athletes, coaches, competitors, and leaders. No hype, no noise, just the mindset that keeps you grounded when it matters most. Let's step into the beam. Have you ever noticed what commentators say during almost every game you may watch? They've got all the momentum, or you can feel the momentum shifting. We talk about momentum as if it's something that floats around a stadium looking for a team to land on. I'm not sure I buy that. Momentum isn't magic, it's behavior. As coaches, we sometimes give momentum too much credit. We'll say the game just got away from us. But games rarely get away from teams. Stick with me on this. Teams slowly hand them away. One poor decision, one lapse in communication, one player whose body language changes. One athlete who stops believing. Those little moments stack up, and suddenly everyone says the momentum changed. No, that's not right. The behaviors changed. Momentum followed. That's an important distinction, because if momentum is luck, there's nothing you can do about it. If momentum is behavior, you can build it. I've watched this happen with athletes who are in a slump. They walk into practice hoping today feels different. But again, hope isn't a strategy. The athletes who get out of slumps don't usually hit 5 home runs. They don't suddenly become perfect. They start doing small things well again. They compete for one pitch. They run hard on every ground ball. They communicate. They stay engaged. Momentum begins long before the scoreboard changes. The same thing happens in business. One difficult week turns into 2, then 3. People saying, we've lost momentum. Maybe. Or maybe we've stopped doing the little things that created momentum in the first place. Returning phone calls, following up, preparing, having difficult conversations, showing up consistently. Momentum doesn't disappear overnight. It erodes through neglected habits. Parents, you can see this too. An athlete loses confidence. Practice becomes frustrating. Conversations become very tense. Soon, everyone starts talking about getting confidence back. So here it is. Confidence usually returns the same way momentum does. One small win, one encouraging conversation, one quality practice, one good response after a mistake. Momentum rarely arrives as a wave. It arrives as a ripple. The problem is most people don't really notice that ripple because they're waiting for the wave. They think about your own life. Where are you waiting for motivation? Where are you hoping confidence shows up? Where are you expecting momentum before you act? So flip that equation. Act first. Momentum follows action, not the other way around. One of the greatest competitors I've ever been around told me something years ago that stayed with me. They said, I never try to win the whole game. I just try to win the next moment. That's momentum. One decision, then another, then another. Eventually people call it confidence. Eventually they call it leadership. Eventually they call it resilience. But all they were really seeing was a person committed to the next right action. So here's your performance insight. One of the most consistent findings in performance psychology is that action often precedes motivation. We tend to think we need to feel motivated before we act. In reality, taking action frequently creates the motivation we're waiting for. Movement creates emotion. That's why the hardest step is often the very first one. Here's today's coach's clipboard drill. Finish this sentence. The next right action is blank. Not tomorrow, not later, but right now. Maybe it's making the call, taking batting practice, going for a walk, hitting some extra balls on the range, writing the proposal, studying film, apologizing, practicing your breathing. Whatever it is, just do that. Don't worry about momentum. Create it. So here's today's direction. Momentum isn't waiting somewhere in your future. It's hiding inside your next decision. Stop waiting for that perfect feeling. Stop waiting for confidence. Stop waiting for everything to line up. Choose that next right action, then another, then another. Before long, people will say, "It looks like you've got momentum." Just smile. You'll know the truth. Momentum wasn't found, it was built. If today's episode gave you direction, please share it with a teammate, a coach, a parent, or someone who's trying to get moving again. And if you'd like practical mental performance coaching delivered every week, join the free Lighthouse letter at coachronmpm.com. Until next time, stand a little taller, breathe a little slower, trust your lighthouse, and remember, winning starts within. This is Coach Ron. No matter how rough the waters get, the beam is still on, and now you know how to find it. I'll meet you back here next time, Into the Storm, where winning starts within. If you like the show, be sure to leave us a rating, review,